Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Marketer's Blueprint podcast. I, of course, am your host, Nathan Gibson, and here with me I have a super special guest, my good friend and colleague, Gerald. He is the sales manager here at BME, and I am so excited to have him here with me today. Gerald, how's your day going?
Pretty good. It's busy, but it's Friday, so I'm very excited for the weekend.
We love Fridays here. It's my favorite thing that we record on Fridays because I'm so pumped for the weekend. I've had a great week. Today we have an awesome topic, sales. We talk about marketing all the time on this podcast, right? But as we all know, sales and marketing really go hand in hand, right? Gerald, who I have here with me, is a absolute sales professional. He's taught me a lot, and we work together hand in hand every single day. So tell me a little bit about what you do on the day-to-day to give the viewers a little bit of context.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Nathan, for that introduction, and thank you for having me here. My name is Gerald. I'm the sales manager at BME. I think I've been with the company for almost a year now. Certainly flown by.
Yeah, it has.
I'm truly enjoying my experience so far. A little about my background before joining BME. I actually worked with various companies across different sales verticals over the past 15 years. So I can
Yeah.
sincerely say that even with my years of experience outside BME, I'm still learning a great deal here. I really like our unique sales approach. I'm excited to be your guest today and share some of our experiences.
Yeah, that's a great point. We do have a really unique process here at BME, and that's kind of what we're going to go into today. We have a few topics that we're going to cover today that I'm really excited about. But to get things kicked off, what business owners really want to talk about all the time is sales, right? We talk about marketing, we have different trends with social media, AI, but a lot of people are focused on sales. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. So
Yeah.
today we're going to explore some essential strategies that will help you streamline your sales efforts and boost your bottom line. So, how do we do this? There's a couple of things that I want to go over today and get your thoughts on, Gerald. If you want more sales and you're really focused on selling, you need to optimize your sales process. As Gerald mentioned earlier, we have a very unique process at BME that we're super proud of, and it involves some really unique approaches to sales that are different from the norm. I know that
Right.
Gerald has experienced this because he's been in sales for a lot longer than me, but we've adapted this unique approach, a friendly and wholesome approach to sales rather than aggressive and overbearing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to kick it off with a topic that's really important and something that Gerald is very heavily involved in the day-to-day of BME, and that is prospecting, right? It all starts with getting valuable prospects. So the one thing you can do is build a strong pipeline of potential customers to create an effective sales process. There are a couple ways to go about this that I'll talk about and then I'll get your feedback, Gerald. One thing you can do is leverage your network, right? As business owners, you oftentimes have a lot of friends, associates, colleagues, business partners in your network of people that you build throughout the years. So make sure you're talking to those people, commenting on posts, and networking yourself so that you're not only marketing your business, you're marketing
Right.
yourself as well. That will help push sales.
Yeah.
Another thing, and this is very important to me because I do this all the time, is cold calling and emailing effectively, right? So a lot of people cold call ineffectively and focus on vanity metrics rather than actually truly connecting with people. So one thing that I think is super important with prospecting is making sure you are actually trying to serve people, reaching out in a friendly manner, and not just trying to
Right.
sell off the bat. It's important to build those relationships. So those are kind of my takeaways for prospecting. Gerald, what do you have to say on the matter?
Well, yeah. I think that's a very good question, Nathan. For me, I think prospecting is all about identifying and reaching out to qualified leads. Like that's the gist of it, right?
Yeah,
But for you to become effective and strategize on how to really prospect, and to your point earlier, you have to leverage your network first. I think leveraging network is the key because you have to connect with people in your industry, and you can ask for referrals, you can reach out to your past clients, colleagues, or industry associations, because pretty much if you have these prospects or clients, their circle of friends are also business owners, right? So
Exactly.
it's really important to build that relationship.
And it's ever expanding too, right? Like you said, like it's
Yeah,
not just about your personal network, it's networks within networks, and this network, it all ends up kind
yeah,
of cohesing together, right?
yeah, that's right. And these relationships often carry what they call this substantial weight because as referrals from trusted sources can actually lead to higher conversion rates because they already know
Absolutely.
how we operate as a company, right? So that's
Yeah.
I think that's very very important. Next to that is you mentioned about the second one that's cold calling and emailing. It's also important because we have to reach out to potential customers directly, but as a company or as a sales team, we have to make sure that our messages are personalized
Right.
and very valuable to our target audience, right? And I think
Yeah.
BME is very good on that aspect. And we
Absolutely.
use different tools. We use different technology. We leverage on social media. We leverage on LinkedIn and other softwares. I think that would be beneficial to reach out to these prospects.
Yeah, absolutely. And one last thing I'll say on prospecting is something that's really important is harnessing the power of social selling. That is really my specialty, to be honest with you, is building connections and valuable relationships with people so that you can serve them well by selling them something they need. We don't ever want to sell things to somebody they don't need. We don't want to undersell somebody who's a high-end client who needs full agency services, and then we wouldn't want to sell full agency services to somebody who's
Right.
a startup, right?
That
So
that's
you
right.
can get to those paths by harnessing the power of social selling. Have a good conversation. Be yourself. Be authentic. That's one thing that I always found to be very important is just being you. Being curious and open-ended and serving people well. It's not all about getting somebody to buy. Maybe it's not the right fit. Understanding that no's are okay too in sales is really important as well. So never underestimate the power of proper prospecting, folks. It is super important when you're building your network
That's
and
correct.
reaching out to people that you're reaching out to the right individuals with the right services.
Right.
So that
And
leads me into my next. Oh, go ahead,
I,
please.
yeah, I think just to add on that, in this generation right now, it's very important to leverage on social media. I think people
True.
are really into it, and I think social media platforms, particularly LinkedIn and
Mm,
Twitter, offer powerful avenues for us to engage with potential clients and building lasting relationships. So I think
yeah,
just to wrap it up by focusing on relationship building rather than just sales pitches, you can
exactly.
really create a network of loyal followers who may
Hmm.
turn into future clients.
Yeah, and that is not to be understated because it
Yep.
is so important in this day and age to build a following of people. It ties in hand with marketing and sales, so that's a very excellent point. I'm glad you mentioned that. That actually kind of leads into our next point too. After you get to the prospecting phase, say you get a no, say you get a I can't talk right now, say you set something up. The power of follow up. It is
Yeah.
incredibly important. Following up with leads is crucial for building relationships and driving those conversions. However, it's essential to strike the right balance, right? Timing is everything. I have reached out to folks and followed up with them once a month for a year, 2 years. They've just had things going on in their life. They're renovating their building. They're changing out team members. It's not always the right time on the first call. So
Right.
providing value at the right time is essential, right, Gerald?
That's very crucial. I think one thing I would like to share on that, Nathan, is that many salespeople right now might see that as a dead end. When a customer
Right.
says no, that's already the dead end. But I think one of the statistics shows that 60% of customers reject an offer before buying.
Wow.
That's that's really mind
Four
blowing, right?
times.
So
That's crazy.
so this means there's really huge opportunity for us salespeople to turn those no's into yeses with the proper or powerful follow up. I think one of
Yeah.
the crucial or one of the key factors we have to consider in doing follow-ups is building relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Consistent follow-up shows that you value your customers and you are genuinely interested in helping them.
Right.
But at the same time, you have to position yourself as an expert. You don't just build
Yeah.
relationship, right? You have to show them that you are an expert on this area, and by
Exactly.
providing important information and insights, you can really establish yourself as a trusted sales advisor. That's why in I think in one of our strategy we are sending materials, we are sending testimonials and
Exactly.
case studies to our prospect just to establish that um, relationship.
Yeah. That's a really important topic because you need to when you're prospecting somebody or trying to serve somebody by selling them something, they need to know you are an expert in what you do and
Mm.
what you're selling them
Right.
is worthwhile. Whether that's a product, whether that's a service, whether that's coaching, whatever it may be, sales boils down to this. And the one and only Gabe Arnold taught me this, who you guys are obviously very familiar with. Sales boils down to the transference of trust. So when you're
Right.
early on into those prospecting and sales conversations, you're just building trust. That is literally what it boils down to. They need to trust you. They need to trust the product or the service that you're selling so that they can feel like they're making a good decision. When we sell people our services at BME, we want them to make absolutely certain this is the right move for my business. And so
Correct.
getting them to trust you in what you do is the whole process. The first, the second, the third, or the fourth no doesn't necessarily mean it's a hard wall. When we get those first no's, if they're hard on it and they hang up on you or they don't feel like a right fit, that's okay too. But if there's still something there, you can ask, well, why? Dig deeper, be curious, find out more about those objections and understand why they're saying no. Maybe they need more
Right.
information. Maybe they don't fully trust you. Maybe they need more time. There's so many things that you can go deeper into your relationship, and it all focuses on the big overarching topic of building relationships, right? One way you can do this is by personalizing your interactions. I'll try to think of an example. There was a prospect that I've called, numerous times and had good conversations with, but I think it was the last time or the second to last time I called her, she was getting fitted for her wedding dress. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. I don't want to take up your time with a sales call right now. You've got important things going on.
Right.
However, the next time I called her a week, 2 weeks later, something. I gave her some time. I said, how did the wedding go? Was it fantastic? Are you on your honeymoon? I used a personalized interaction based on our previous conversation, and that is a crucial aspect of relationship building, right? Because it shows, hey, he remembered what we talked about. This guy actually cares. And I did. I wanted to know. It's exciting. I use my personality in that way to connect with people. So don't you feel like personalized interactions is super important, Gerald?
Yeah. Actually, you brought up a very good point there. I think timing is a key, and also you mentioned about being personalized on your conversation with your client, right? I think timing is a key is really understanding the importance of timing in your communication with your customers and make sure that you are maintaining a positive relationship. On your example earlier, if you will force yourself into that conversation and they are doing something else, then that could ruin the
It'll tank immediately because
Right.
they've got more important things going on.
Yeah, that's right. So I think timing is a key. And
Mhm.
apart from that, we don't need to bombard our customers with constant
No.
follow-ups. I think you have to space out your contacts to avoid appearing pushy or salesy, just to make sure that you still have that relationship intact. And being personalized, as you mentioned, is also important. I think in today's market, personalization is crucial for effective communication because it creates or it may easily be overlooked or deemed irrelevant in a sales world. While we tailored our approach, it can significantly increase engagement and response rate. So
Yeah.
I think BME is very consistent in terms of building a relationship and being personalized with our prospects.
Yeah, that's a really great point because we were talking about, how much follow up is needed sometimes. You mentioned a statistic earlier. I'll mention one now. 80% of successful sales, closed sales, take 5 or more follow up calls. So it's totally normal not to sell on the first call, right?
Right.
Like there's so many things that go into it with relationship building and trust that it can take 5, 6, even more calls to get somebody to move the needle. It's about just building that trust with them and showing them that you care by also, like what you said, not being too pushy with follow-up. Call once a week, every couple of weeks. Ask them what cadence works for them. I find myself doing that pretty often. What's a better time to call you? I want to catch you at a time where you can chat with me, where I can actually serve you and have your attention. I don't want to catch you in the middle of a wedding or on a vacation. You're skiing or something. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
one thing I brought up earlier that leads me into our next point was objections. They happen all the time in sales. It's a very, very common thing. So we're going to talk about closing, right? So closing the deal requires a combination of skill, confidence, and understanding your customer's needs. That involves anticipating objections and being able to close with confidence. You want to make sure that they are making the absolute best decision, whether they're buying your product, your service, your coaching, whatever it may be. You want to make sure that they have all of the information they need and honestly leave it in their hands. It's not your job to force twist their wrist to buy something. It's your job to give accurate information, answer questions, and of course anticipate those objections and handle them, because a lot of objections come from lack of knowledge, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on closing? I know you've closed many deals in your sales experience. What are some of your thoughts on closing?
I think we have what we call the art of sales pitch, right? I think it's very common in a sales campaign. And for me, a well-crafted sales pitch can be the difference between a successful sale and a lost opportunity. And in a very competitive market, it's crucial to have a strong and persuasive sales pitch that will resonate with your audience. I think that's very, very important. So just to tackle some of the major ones, I think number one would be we should know our audience.
Yeah.
We have to really understand their needs. What are our audience or prospects' pain points? What are their goals? How can we resolve their problem?
Yeah.
That's why with BME we don't just do cold calls, right? We want to make sure that we know at least what's going on with their business. Mm-hmm. We want to know how organized their websites are currently, and we're asking questions, right?
Yeah.
And I think another thing is tailor your pitch, right? We've mentioned about being personalized earlier, but in your sales pitch, you have to be personalized as well. You have to customize your message just to make sure you address their specific needs and interest. And I think another one is build rapport, right?
Yes.
I think it's fundamentals, but I think we have to make sure that we include this in our key takeaways for a good sales pitch. We need to establish a good connection with our audience, and by showing genuine interest and empathy, and of course most importantly, follow up. We've already talked about it earlier.
Yeah, those are excellent points of what is involved in a successful sales pitch, because people are tired of being pitched these days. You have to be clever, you have to be creative, you have to be intuitive with people. So that's why we take just a friendly informational approach. We want to provide accurate information to you. We want to answer any questions that you might have. And at the end of the day, it's your decision. I'm not going to twist anybody's arm into buying anything. I'm going to make sure it's the right decision for you. So you can make absolutely certain it is what you need for your business, or you need this product. This can go across any area of business. When you're reaching out to somebody, whether it's prospecting, whether it's cold calling, whether it's closing, always remember this, and this is, again, something Gabe Arnold has taught me, is serve to the best of your ability. Be a servant leader. You're there to provide information and just be there for somebody. And so I think oftentimes as salespeople, we get lost in the mumbo-jumbo and the day-to-day and the grinding of sales. But at the end of the day, I'm a person talking to another person. And I try to not forget that, because if you can connect on a human level, You can connect on a business level, and you can really do anything that you need within sales. I wanted to move on to something really awesome that I wanted to ask you, Gerald, and that is, in your experience of 15 plus years now, what's the best piece of sales advice that you've ever received?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the best sales advice I've ever received: always listen, then speak. It it's incredibly powerful, most
Yeah.
especially in a sales campaign, right? Because too often salespeople are so focused on their own agenda that they
Mm-hmm.
forget to truly listen to their prospects' needs and concerns. Actively listening, you can build rapport. People are more likely to trust and connect with someone who genuinely listens to them.
Yeah.
And you can also identify pain points because you are listening. You would understand your customers' challenges. It allows you to um, tailor your solutions to their specific needs. You can also ask insightful questions because you are listening. You ask probing questions that you can uncover hidden opportunities that you can use or uncover objections early on. So I think
Yeah.
just to make sure, we have to remember that the best salespeople are the best listeners. So the next time
True.
you're in a sales conversation, we have to focus on listening more than talking because you'll be
Yeah.
amazed at the results, really.
Yeah, honestly, it's something that has challenged me and I've worked very hard to get better at because let's face it, I'm a talker.
Right.
I love talking, I love making people laugh and bringing energy to conversations, but it's not always my place to be leading the conversation in sales calls. It's my
Right.
place to, as you said, ask questions and listen to the answers so that I can answer questions better and also provide services in a better way. The active listening is one of the most crucial pieces of sales advice anyone could ever give.
Right.
For me, the best piece of sales advice that I've ever received is, well, who would have guessed it, from Gabe Arnold. And that's, as I mentioned earlier, be yourself. You don't need to put on a mask or a persona or a suit and tie for every business conversation. I have my best
That's a good one.
conversations when I'm my fun, quirky, nerdy self. Because a lot of people can relate to that, right? I find, especially early on into conversations, just being myself, having fun, and listening is the most important thing in sales conversations, at least in my experience. So I would
Right.
encourage you guys to, if you don't take away anything, take away from Gerald and I, listen. Listen to what people have to say. Make sure you truly understand what their needs are, and be yourself. If you need to crack a joke or just have fun with a sales conversation, it doesn't have to be all uptight and formal all the time.
Right.
It can be a little bit more relaxed. I think people will resonate with that better, especially with what we talked about earlier about how people are a little bit numb to sales pitches these days. You have to be clever in marketing and sales to really gain people's attention and following. And one way to easily do that is just to be yourself. Don't fake it at all. So, and guys, optimizing a complete sales funnel is really no easy feat. It can be quite difficult. Prospecting for new leads, following up and nurturing those leads, and then turning those leads into sales can be a long and complicated process. It truly can be. We've done it for 18 years now. We know you guys are busy business owners with tons of other stuff to worry about. Truly, a lot on your plate. Please give me a call. There will be a link down in the description where you can book a call directly with me, Nathan, where I would be happy to learn about what you have going on with your business and if there's anything that we can do to serve you. We are in the business of helping business owners take hats off because they wear a stack of hats that almost goes to the ceiling with everything that business owners have to worry about, right? So I would be happy to have a chat with you guys just to see if there's anything we can do to help and even just connect and learn more about your business. Last section we have here is, of course, my favorite every single week, and that is our BME wins. What do we have going on? How are we helping our clients win? We have a client called Six Pack Gym where we gained valuable insights into their business and personal background by interviewing them, which strengthened our relationship and identified opportunities for growth. It goes to show that building relationships with your clients can help you serve them even better. So how do we do this? We did this by having open and honest conversations and brainstorming sessions. We learned more about what they're passionate about, what their goals are, and this helped us tailor a marketing strategy to their specific needs and helped build a stronger relationship with them so that we understand exactly what they need and allow us to serve better.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that six packs client, we really gained a lot of insights into their business, right? And the personal background. And I think it only strengthened our relationship, and we have identified a lot of opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
So, to your point earlier, by having open and honest conversations and brainstorming sessions, we learn about our clients' passions and
Yeah.
goals. So that's really important. So this helped us tailor our marketing strategies to their specific needs, and we were able to build a strong relationship based
Mhm.
on trust and understanding of our clients.
Exactly. And when we have that strong foundation of trust, we can help them achieve really anything. It is
Right.
our favorite part about marketing is building relationships with our awesome clients. And we would love to build relationships with you. Please let us know. We're always in the business of helping out business owners and learning more about cool and fun things people have going on. So please reach out if you need anything. But Gerald, that is just about our time for today. I super appreciate you being on here with me as a sales expert in our business. It's a pleasure to be able to work with you every day. Do you have any closing remarks for our fun and loving audience?
I think I'm all good for now. It has been a very good and a good conversation with
Yeah.
you, Nathan, and I think we're able to tackle a lot of things about sales, and hopefully our audience learned a lot for today.
All right. Well, we will go ahead and wrap it up, folks. Thank you again for tuning in to the Marketer's Blueprint podcast, and we will see you on the next episode.